All right, I got this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is, wherever you are. Welcome on in to this presentation of the Open League Season 4, Week 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Brain, Olhaado taking on Zebes Frogbar, I butchered that one. Great intro, Wes. We'll come back to that racer name in a second. My name is Wes Vandal. My co-commentator is probably facepalming very hard right now, but it's Amarith.
Only a little bit. How you doing, Wes?
Doing all right. But at any rate, akuheish, I believe, is the pronunciation guide I was given. And if I'm wrong, you can roast me. It's all right. I'm used to it. But we are just about ready to get underway here.
Yep, I was going to say we should be transitioning over to the race screen in just a second here. The racers are just about going right now.
And it is Week 3 casual boots action underway. Boots, this seed is bootless until boots, which are on our runner's feet. And we're starting off strong with the power glove there.
Always good to have something nice like that. One of the good progression items in the very early part of a escape, and the whole escape sequence just makes it a little bit less frustrating going into Kakariko.
Indeed. So both these teams off to a slower start here in leagues Open League Season 4. Only one win in the first 2 weeks. But looking to change the momentum and bring it around here in Week 3, and we'll see who can accomplish that goal here in this casual boots seed.
So you got any particular favorites in the seed in this race, Wes, or
I can't help but have an affinity for Guardians of the Galaxy Brain. I can't explain why. It's just,
I mean, it's such a great team name, right?
Yes, yeah, and and I don't know why. Just their logo is just so good that I have it as one of my emotes on Twitch.
Oh, wow.
Just a really good affinity for Guardians of the Galaxy Brain.
Yeah, Zebes Frogbar is a pretty interesting team too. I believe it's a new team this year. Haven't seen them around too much, but they're really kind of pushing. Last week they took a game off of But We're Still Buddies. I believe akuheish. I'm probably gonna butcher that the whole stream like you.
Yeah, that's why I was going to stick to Aku, but I figured I'd try at least once.
Yeah, pulled a game off of Bentezi last week by about, I think it was 5 minutes or so. So that was keeping this conference interesting.
Yep. Aku definitely Aku responsible for Zebes' only points of the league so far. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that streak going. Olhaado has gone 0-2, but he was part of both teams week 1. Once with Ricky and once with some dude named Weisside Vandal. I butchered that one. I'm sorry. Really similar spelled to my name, but different capitalization.
Yeah, yours has all the capitals. His one has no capitals. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
But yeah, keeping the Thieves Town division kind of interesting, as in the first week, every team was actually either swept or did a sweep or got swept, and last week everyone split 1-1.
Indeed. So that so there's the haves and the have-nots. Still a little bit, but the gap definitely a little bit smaller now. And one of these teams will be able to break out of the 2 layers here with a win tonight. So far, nothing really popping out of this escape. It's been a bunch of rupees. One advantage of casual boots mode, I feel, is having those boots from the start is just useful in general, honestly. But it also means that our runners don't have to find bombs for the back of escape. They can just bonk into the walls.
Oh, I thought you were going to say so that way the runners don't have to go slow.
Yeah, that's also a fairly decent perk of just starting with the boots on your feet. The run speed definitely helps increase or decrease the amount of time spent traversing the overworld.
Yeah, and who wants to spend time in the overworld doing overworld checks? I'd rather be in dungeons clearing crystals. So we start making our way towards Back of Escape. It's looking like Olhaado is just a little bit ahead. He'll probably be our first one to Dark Cross and the Back of Escape, pending stopping to farm potential bombs. I haven't really taken note of the Ropa bomb drop pack or the Rats bomb pack yet. Or item pack, excuse me.
Well, looks like we do have a little bit of a timer synchronization issue because looking at the timers, Aku does actually open the Dark Cross chest a little bit sooner according to the relative timers.
Okay, well, that'll probably get synced out here in just a moment. Always fun with all the restream backend stuff.
Yep.
And let's see if we got anything fun and interesting in the back 3 checks to escape.
Yeah, and it would definitely be a change for this escape so far, as there's been nada, nilch, nothing.
Well, that's a moon pearl.
Yes.
And my favorite, the map. Yay.
Yes.
The one that everyone always wants to find as your second to last check, not the item.
Yeah.
So every time you spawn at Sank, you look at that chest and like, no, I don't need to open that. That's the map.
Yeah, muscle memory is a thing, isn't it?
It's pretty bad. So I'm wondering if we will see any variation between these two runners, or if they'll both go to Kakariko, or if they'll go for the ever fun, ever popular Kakariko skip and just go straight on down to like South Shore or something. And that's a fire rod in Sanctuary.
That is most definitely a fire rod in Sanctuary. All right, so yeah, I'd probably be doing Kakariko here with how little we found in that escape. If we found maybe like a lamp or something that allowed us to skip the mountain, which I mean you'd have to go to Kakariko anyway for the flute. Maybe, but
I mean, especially in casual boots, I'm always a fan of trying to put off Kakariko for a little bit longer, just because if you go to like South Shore, Mini Moldorum Cave a little bit early, you happen to find a bottle or the flute or something that just like makes saving one trip to Kakariko a little bit easier. Or heck, even making it so that when you do make your eventual trip into Kakariko, you get your Dark World access there and can jump right into Thieves Town.
Ooh, bush crab, pretty loaded. 20 rupees a pop, so nice little early rupee boost there. Speaking of rupees, just a $5 on Lumberjack, so we're not going to need that unlocked today. Now,
yeah, definitely not. Maybe for Dark World access, but definitely not the tree.
Well, considering we only need to find one of 2 items for Dark World access, and we have pretty much all of the Light World checks open to us, looking unlikely, but having said that...
You say that, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, having said that, incoming commentator's curse. So
because
please look for Dragon
Rando.
1.
This is Rando. You never know what the seed will and will refuse to throw at you.
Yep. All right. So just 10 arrows on Mushroom there. Not really something we're interested in. Olhaado appears to have had a bit more luck with the bush crab than Aku did.
And Aku remembering to grab that 100% guaranteed bomb in the Bunkhole Rocks just to the left of the Sorcerer's house.
I was about to say, that's pretty good game knowledge right there. Meanwhile, Olhaado does not and chooses to see if they're going to get some bailout bombs.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was either going to go for the bailout bombs or just go straight to buy bombs.
And we'll find out. Well, he's going to get bailed out as Aku finds 3 bombs in the bottom right there. Yep, you need bombs for that, Olhaado. You need bombs.
Don't you just wish you could just like fire rod the wall and just melt it?
That'd be pretty nifty. Get on that for V32, guys.
Yeah, alternate rule set, burning down walls.
Yes, absolutely. And also make it so that you can like capture magic decanters with the net to get magic bottles. I don't know where that came from. Anyway,
you're gonna catch green goo in a bug net. Yeah, I can see it. I like it.
All
So
right,
we got our first map check.
I saw Pendant on Hera and Crystal on Eastern.
Yeah, I saw. I believe it was a red Crystal Eastern.
Meanwhile, we also get Cape and Hookshot out of Kakariko Well. And I'm just completely wrong because Tower of Hera was a crystal.
It was Pendant Desert that you saw.
Oh, and also Bow in Kakariko Well. So Kakariko Well pretty much earning this Kakariko the name of Stackariko by itself.
Ah, we're on one of those seeds. So, how is this going to open up in such a way that we are going to be ruined by luck?
Yeah.
Because this seed so far seems nice. Armos Knights is already in Logic. Are we going to have our Glover hammer on Armos?
We could, yeah, absolutely. Gotta love that. And Blue Magic, or excuse me, Blue Mail in the tavern.
Very nice convenience.
Yes.
Definitely make the opening a lot safer, allow you to be a lot more aggressive on your plays.
Yep. And this definitely does feel, and there's a bottle on library bookshelf there.
Boy, so you just lay it all out for them.
Yeah. Rolling out the red carpet, game basically going, here, have all the safeties, but have fun finding the progression items. So far, at least.
Olhaado, you kind of, yeah, you do have the boots for those.
Yep.
You get so used to not having the boots your first trip through library that you're just like, oh, right, I can't get this, obviously. I don't have the boots yet.
Yeah.
Even though I dashed all the way here.
All right, and Lazy Kid just goes, cool bottle, bro, have 20 rupees. Nice little recycling deposit there, I guess.
I mean, reduce, reuse, rob a kid, right?
Yep, sounds about right. All right, so it does look like we are going to see... Oh, wait, Olhaado hadn't... Olhaado went immediately to turn that bottle in, did not check dig game. All right. That's got to be a save and quit. Aku.
All right, so... Let's say, well, Olhaado go follow Aku or go South Shore, you think? You know him a little bit.
Yeah, I would probably say he's going to go to Eastern here. Yep.
That's definitely a fair play because, like I said,
yeah,
it's pretty much clear. It's pretty much clearable crystal, almost guaranteed. Not that we don't care about the logic anyway. If the big key is in its vanilla location.
Yeah, both these runners should be more than capable of the Eastern Dark Room, so the big key's location shouldn't particularly matter. Green Pendant Skull Woods. I think Olhaado might still be a little bit in Fad Keys mode. Getting information.
Maybe a little bit, but I do like getting the green pendant information because if you already have one crystal and one pendant information already from your map check, that's one less thing that you have to look for when you're doing your Dark World map check and one less thing to mark off later.
Alrighty. So Aku now. Heading into the right side of Eastern here.
Made it a little bit easier by having that hook shot. Can just go down and hook shot right over to that chest instead of flipping the switch.
Yep. And it's good to save that little bit of time, especially when the item is a nothing burger like the map. All right, so onward we go. Going to be a fairly backloaded Eastern Palace here, as Olhaado reminds us that what key was in the first chest there. All right, and there's our lamp. So
everything in logic now. Yay.
Yep. So that might produce a little bit of a divergence because now we have both South Shore and Death Mountain in logic for our runners. So we'll see what happens here. As our runners continue to make their way through Eastern Palace here. What else are we going to find here in Eastern, if anything?
I mean, the hope is that we find our Dark World access and we can go crazy with going South Shore, right?
Yeah. Aku wanted to use the cape to avoid the damage here, but no magic, unfortunately. And all of that for 10 arrows. That always feels fantastic.
And finally heading to the back, that is actually all the items out of here out of Eastern, so it's just the Crystal and Armos left.
Yep. Okay, interesting decision by Aku here. Must be confident that they'll be able to avoid damage.
But he does have that fairy that we got out of Sahaz.
Oh, that would be why. Okay, I forgot about that fairy is what happened there.
I can understand its use, but I wouldn't have liked to have used it there and already, personally.
Yeah.
I would have maybe jumped in the one of the pots where the fairies are gone for all the way to the far right of the big chest room for the heart that's under the pot.
Correct. Yeah. I personally was thinking dropping down into the fairy room, but at any rate, does get picked back up by that bottle fairy and is continuing to head back towards Armos Knights here. Olhaado, by virtue of not dying, does pick up a little bit of time, but it is still very early going to be worrying about
who's in the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've yet to see much variance, so.
Yep. All right. Getting a little bit away from Aku here is the Armos fight, but cleaned up nicely.
Hey, who says you have to quick kill it every time, right?
Right.
Oh, Olhaado's one of those weird ones I see that does the bottom quick kill. Or sort of quick kill, at least.
Yep.
I don't see that too often. I see most people go for, like, the NMG standard.
But regardless, both runners now first crystal down at about just under 17 minutes into the seed.
Yep, and we have Aku going straight for South Shore, whereas Olhaado, we'll see if he goes there or decides to go up the mountain, because we do have Lamp and Hookshot. Kind of appealing.
Yep. So there's the save and quit. And is starting from Link's house, so it looks like he's going to be doing South Shore here as well.
Those runners just in lockstep today.
All right. So Cane of Berna inside the dam. We'll see what's waiting at the bottom of the Great Hylian Reservoir here.
A wonderful soggy 10 arrows.
10 arrows. I'm sure that waterlogging just adds so much aerodynamics to those arrows.
I mean, it's the wonderful mystery of the Hylian dropping arrows.
All right. So Mini Moldorm Cave made a little bit easier with that hook shot. Much like a lot of things, honestly. But all right.
It's probably like one of the most utility items in this game, aside from Cane of Samaria. But that's,
yeah.
Everyone loves a good glitch stick.
Yep. So that's Ether and the Book of Medora in Mini Moldorm Cave. Nice couple of pulls there.
It means desert is full clearable for us, which is an interesting prospect.
Yeah, I would keep that in the back pocket. Here, a little bit early to be thinking about it, but I mean, not to partially name drop, it would be pretty Galaxy Brain if it did pay out.
I mean, sometimes you got to make those plays, and a lot of times it's actually good to make your gambles early, because better to make them early and then sort of
Be able to recover. Yeah.
be able to recover. Yeah, then it's like late game. Oh man, I got to make this bad gamble, and it's like, well, if it's there, I either do it or I lose. So desert, I don't think actually would be too bad of a play, especially since the game is kind of pointing you there. The other thing is that it might just be pointing to, say, like Ether Tablet once we actually get our hammer and access to Hera or the mirror.
Another advantage of casual boots is it makes water walking from Ice Rod Cave to Zora's Domain pretty much free. And that is half magic. And a B of some description.
We'll see if you get a B, and you get a B.
We'll see if it's a B plus or not.
I can only hope.
An interesting decision here by Olhaado. He is using the rupee hoarder here under the rock at Ice Rod Cave. 20 rupees a shot. He is going to go up to 500 rupees and check Zora's check the King of Scams.
I understand the play. Given how many rupees he was at, I'm not sure I like it, just because it's kind of slow. But if it is something, it could be really nice.
Yeah, if it's, for example, Dark World access.
Because Zora is in logic with the glove, so it's totally understandable wanting to do this and making sure that you don't leave it behind.
Yeah. Now, that's all right. So 511 rupees acquired. And, if this does happen to be Dark World access, it could be pretty big. Otherwise, that is a lot of time spent collecting rupees. And Olhaado...
I was going to say, Olhaado, you didn't set up the water walk. You ran straight out of Ice Rod.
Yeah. All right, now Aku heading up Death Mountain here, rescuing the old man. We'll see what's in Death Mountain here shortly.
Also, I'm not sure. I can't remember if going into the Rupee Cave resets the water walk or not.
I have not tried it because I honestly have not needed to use that Rupee Cave in quite some time, so...
Testing for later, maybe.
All right. $20 for rescuing the old man.
That was a special 20. That means that was the boots.
All right. Looks like something with a quantity on Lake Hylia Island. I didn't quite catch it in time. I just saw numbers.
Those arrows. Just more visible arrows.
Right. Believe that was red meringue on the Spectacle Rock. It was.
I was going to say, I saw something red. And Oro confirming in chat for us, walking left or right while in a cave breaks the sword water walk. So yes, going into the Rupee Cave would break it.
Yep. All right. So Aku, meanwhile, heading into Paradox Cave here. 7 checks here. 2 downstairs, 5 upstairs.
The cave most recently being known as the New Hype Cave. Let's check its status today. Nothing in the downstairs or upstairs, depending on how you look at it, because it's Paradox Cave. It's a little weird.
Yep. All right.
Looks like it was just a regular bee.
All righty then. Half magic acquired for Olhaado. That's hammer. There's our Dark World access. And silvers. Uh-oh. So now Olhaado is really going to want something to be something important to be here on the King of Scams, because, oh boy, that's a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's going to be pretty hard to beat. Like, this would have to be Titans, and even then, that drags him away from hammer.
I was going to say it could be like a sword or like anything important, but unfortunately, it's just a heart piece.
All right. So Aku going to take that hammer, and he's going to head straight for Tower of Hera and our second crystal.
That doesn't necessarily mean a big disadvantage for Olhaado, though, just because he went and farmed all that. Just bombs on Ether Tablet. He will. It may be weighing on Aku's mind that he's left Zora behind and may eventually go back there later.
Yeah. Like, say if we find Mir here in Hera, and Aku is able to like loop Zora in with Catfish.
Wouldn't that be poetic, semi-vanilla-ish Mir?
Indeed. Our tracker pointing out, yeah, I think you were about to say this too. The crabs, unfortunately, had for Olhaado had 20 rupee drops.
Yeah. And no Harapot from Aku on this. Interesting choice. Maybe just not comfortable with it.
Yeah, I do know a lot of people. Well, we have bombs, obviously, but if you're able to hook speed Harapot, that's pretty easy to set up as well. I feel, but it can be kind of a weird setup for some people. So
Yeah, I don't knock him for it. It's just one of those like, that's an interesting note because a lot of the runners that I tend to run into personally, just because of my skill of where I usually end up on ladder or whatever, tend to know like Harapot, most dark rooms, and you sort of build that expectation in your mind that when you see someone who doesn't, you're kind of just like, huh.
yeah, I believe Aku was saying they were a newer runner, like they hadn't really started doing like stuff like MSUs yet. So that might be part of it as well.
Yeah, and there is that sort of like prioritization of just learning glitches and which ones you feel are the most important. Like I would imagine that, though maybe Yaku doesn't know Harapot in this case possibly, they're more comfortable with say like Diver Down, which is a lot more important I think to learn right now.
Yeah, Diver Down and Icebreaker are definitely the big boys of some of like the newer ish glitches. All right, so Olhaado about to receive hammer and silvers here.
Heading over to Spiral Cave, it looks like.
Yep.
Don't want to leave that behind, but also an interesting choice that on the table, if they had thought about it, was also Spike Cave as in logic.
Yeah, with half magic and that cane of cane of Burna, yeah, that should definitely be on the table.
I mean, especially with the half magic and two bottles, because the Spike Cave is actually in logic with just the Burna itself. 99% certain, I believe I've been told. Because spoiler actually expects you to be able to do Burna with like 3 hearts.
Oh boy. But
In there.
all right. Yeah. So just a heart container in Spiral, so
I mean, who's gonna knock a full heart, right?
yeah.
Like, I'll take a free one.
Yep. Aku heading back up the mountain here. I'm assuming going to do Spike.
I mean, yeah, like we said, like it's something you don't necessarily want to leave for long. It has a tendency to be one of those very forgotten and leftover checks. But when it has an item, it has one of the items you need.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's also kind of like a playing it forward check. Like if you think that your opponent isn't going to check this, and it could be something that it could give you like that much more of an advantage.
Also, nice use of the hook shot there to save a little bit of hearts. Gonna use the cape, actually. We forgot the cape also here.
I missed that we had gotten cape. I completely forgot about it.
Well, I mean, same, honestly. Unfortunately, Spike Cave not paying off. We are going to see Bomb Harapot from Olhaado here. Oof.
Yep, as Aku heads towards Hype Cave, and probably gonna get our dark map check here in just a moment and
Yeah.
see how quick that goes.
And see, this is why I like being able to do hook shot or hook speed Harapot, because I have absolutely no patience for pause buffering.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. Also with the fact that just my pause buffering is terrible and I can't one frame things very well.
Yep. Yeah, I get enough, and I'm sure the people who watch me do runs get enough of me trying to pause buffer hammer yump. I really don't want to learn it for Terrapot. At any rate, we did see that dark map check from Aku there. 5/6 crystal on Palace of Darkness. More importantly, Cane of Samaria, aka the glitch stick, in Hype Cave. That's pretty hype all on its own merits there.
Yeah, it gets it all about the whole 4 out of the 4.5 points that I would give it for that hype cave. The only thing worthy of note in there.
Right.
Aku very understandably going to pod here, the other
Yep.
5/6 crystal, and having everything you need already to clear it. Why not?
Yep.
And that way, on your next trip, you could loop in getting the big red bomb, going into Pyramid Fairy, all sorts of fun stuff. Because whenever your red crystals can line up that super early, might also be the seed telling you, "Hey, gotta go here, something important." It's one of those just odd, out there checks.
Yep.
Olhaado making quick work of Moldorm there too. See if they end up in Spike Cave or just doing Spiral or doing both or neither.
Yeah, I would imagine we're going to see at least Spiral here, and indeed he's heading straight for it. Spike Cave he may want to wait until we have Dark Death Mountain access, which, as we know, isn't going to hurt him this time around. But we'll see what happens here. Good news in a seed where we found both of our bows at 25 minutes in. House of Darkness is not bow locked. Hooray!
Hooray! That's usually the case when it's not when you have both bows already. Aku, however, going to go straight up the bowlock side though.
Well, I mean, there are two checks over here. Now, granted, it's a pretty high likelihood they're both going to be keys because in a non-key sanity mode, I always love to refer to Palace of Darkness as the mullet dungeon. It's business in front, party in the back. That's just a lot of keys for a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I've just taken a lot more kindly to the going through the front if you're given the key, just sort of like, if I don't know if it's actually faster or if it just feels faster to route going through the front and checking those checks, doing the drop down on the big key chest if you do get the key, etc. Because you find out your information a little bit faster, I think, of whether you're gonna have your 2 items or not in the front. Rather, your 2 non-key items in the front.
Right.
I have had it where I have had 6 key front pods, and those are kind of wild.
So I do want to point out here, Olhaado actually deciding to go into Dark World via the Kakariko portal and is checking Skull Woods.
I can kind of get it given how early the fire rod was.
Yeah.
And
half
having
magic.
like,
yeah.
you feel pretty comfortable going into Moth on that. Like, I definitely can feel that being pretty well.
Yeah.
Just like, we'll just have to see how it pays off for him.
Now, here's a point where Olhaado would probably love to have that Cane of Samaria because he could have skipped this entire statue pole while trying to avoid the Gibdo.
Yeah, you gotta pull it down just a little more. Unfortunately, I haven't been counting over on Aku's side. I think we've had 4, I think maybe 5 keys on the front so far.
I saw the compass on the right side, so make of that
Probably
what
5
you
then,
will.
yeah. So I didn't see anything else. Just looking at our key count, yeah, I think we got a 5 key front.
All right. And there's our Master Sword. And there's our big key. So now it should pretty much be items from here on out. including Harmless Hellway. Piece of Heart.
Yeah, Harmless Hellway, I believe at this point should have to have a key, given the current logic of the randomizer.
All right. Meanwhile,
So Hato's
nothing. Red mail in that chest, and Olhaado has found nothing interesting in Skull Woods yet.
nothing like finding red mail around the time that you're wanting to do a death warp.
Yep.
Then you get halfway out anyway, and you're like, I may as well just walk.
Some interesting routing from Olhaado here, choosing to just go back around instead of come down through the other door for the pinball room.
Yeah,
Nice
really
game.
Interesting routing.
Nice game of pinball there to get back out of the room. And we are on our way to the back of Skull Woods here for Olhaado. Aku, meanwhile, continuing the descent down into the basements of Palace of Darkness for the confrontation with Helmsar King.
Olhaado skipping out on the back of Skull Woods. You would think that making a play out of Skull Woods, he would have gone for finishing it, and that's Mitts there.
That is Mitts, yes. Yeah. Especially considering I am 99% positive that both Skull Woods items are in the back of Skull Woods, plus it's the green pendant. If you're gonna go that far in, I feel like that's when you kind of have to try to commit to, but at the same time, coming over here and finding Titans is pretty nice.
Yeah, gotta give him at least that.
That being said, once Aku does make his way over here, he should be finding that in pretty short order as well.
Yep, but for now we're just playing with some turtles, making our way over to the Helmosaur.
Right, into Village of Outcasts goes Olhaado here.
Let's see what goodies these thieves are hiding today.
Piece of Heart in C-shaped house. Aku, meanwhile, chipping away at the faceplate there. And just needs to line up one silver arrow shot. Nicely done. And down goes Helmsar King for our third crystal of the seed at 37 minutes in.
And just another 50 on him. Long live the king.
Indeed. And chest game. 3 bombs for technically 29 rupees for Olhaado because he did get 1 rupee back in the randomized chest, but still pretty heftily priced bombs.
All right, so Aku, where are you going? Are you going to run all the way back to Bomb Shop from here, or what's going on? I think it would be faster to save and quit if you're heading to Bomb Shop, unless he's just planning to go straight to Catfish, then maybe save and quit and do Big Red Bomb. Not sure what his play is.
I feel like if he's staying in the Dark World and running, I feel like this has to be Catfish.
If you were going for Pyramid, you'd want to loop in Big Red Bomb with it, because you just got 2 red crystals, so why would you want to double up on that trip?
Aku may not, just may be having kind of a mental, like an unforced mental error here or something, may just not realize yet, oh hey, I have both 5/6s.
That's possible, or just gambling on the fact that no, it's actually not going to be anything, I'm not going to worry about it. And so far, I haven't seen anything really important pop up in Thieves Town yet.
No.
Looked like maybe at best a 1-item front. I saw Compass, Big Key, and Small Key.
All right. Now Aku heading up for Catfish here. We'll see if he is doing a gamble that 5-6 is nothing, or just had a bit of a routing issue here shortly. Meanwhile, Olhaado is going to be heading into the Hellway here in Palace or in Thieves Town. Gonna just go, you know what? I don't really feel like taking damage. Here, have the Cane of Burna.
Yeah,
With all the lag.
It's one of my favorite places to visit is Palace of Thieves Town. So
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right.
Aku, remaining in the Dark World, is going to be heading towards North Dark World here. Again, not saving and quitting or anything, so just interesting choices. Definitely going to be hitting the Bumper Cave on the way into Village of Outcasts, so we'll get those myths.
As Thieves Town continues to be uninteresting.
I mean, it can't always be a one-hit wonder.
Fair. All right, yep, Aku definitely going to see those Titans now and be grabbing those. Yep, Aku, that is what you think they were. Yep, you need to grab those. It's always fun when you can tell when a runner has to do a double take.
I don't need that item. Wait a minute, yes, I do need that item.
Yep.
We've all been there. And also, our stun item is a bomb. Cool.
Right.
Opting to take out that one red Zizak at the bottom there that always tends to be just a jerk when you decide to leave him alive and just like shoots fire at you all the entire time that you're trying to come down with the maiden.
Yep. All right, Aku now in Village of Outcasts as well. Nice time for a refill there for Olhaado. All right, both our runners going to be in Thieves for a short while longer here, as Olhaado going to be finishing up shortly with a blind fight.
You gotta be kind of wondering where Olhaado's going to head after this. Do you think he'll either jump right into like the blacksmith chain, just go follow all that, hope for flippers / mirror along the way, maybe go into like Swamp Palace, or maybe just save and quit, go straight for pod?
I kind of like in my position. If I were in Olhaado's position, I would make my way over towards pod. Like I would do what you were saying about like Smith's chain and whatnot, but I'd be going towards like end goal would be doing pod.
Yeah, so finish up with the grab Smith, do hammer pegs, do dig game, do stumpy,
Yeah.
save and quit, turn in Smith, and probably end up at pod somehow. Mirror pending.
Yeah.
That is one of the key items that we will be looking for a little bit longer here.
Thinking on it, I might be convinced to not do Smith's chain here yet, because that is a bit of a problem, like trying to work Palace of Darkness into the mix.
But then again, especially as of late, I've been seeing a lot of like mirror on Smith. Like it's been popping up, and call me one of those conspiracy theory like PRNG believers, but I'll put my tinfoil hat on.
I wouldn't say like kind of piggybacking off the PRNG thing. I don't notice patterns like that over the course of days, but I've definitely noticed it over like a single day, I guess is how I would put it. Like I will tend to notice that I will like comma race and have like, for example, I'll just throw something random out there. Let's say Dig Game has mirror here. I will see Dig Game on mirror in a race I commentate in the morning, and then I will do, a ladder race later that day, and oh hey, look, mirror on Dig Game. Weird. Doesn't. This is a lot of digs for hopefully something.
Yeah, everyone's favorite piece of heart.
Hooray!
You wasted your time.
I mean, maybe if that had been a refill, but the Thieves Town Big Chest kind of took care of that for us already.
Unfortunately.
All right, so what's old Stumpy gonna have for us today? 3 bombs.
You just want to see the world burn.
Yep.
I mean, if you're gonna end up the rest of your life with a tree stuck to a stump.
Yep. All right, so Olhaado gonna do Hype Cave here, receive that glitch stick, and like I said, presumably head to Palace of Darkness here because he did not pick up Jeremiah, so gonna be saving that for later.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be surprised to see him head straight for pod now. Not too many options on the table, really, aside from Big Red Bomb, Smith Chain, heading up to Dark Death Mountain, or even just straight up sequence breaking into Ice Palace, because that's all on the table now. Not necessarily in logic, but it's full clearable and it's a crystal. Get a good idea on what's behind the flippers.
And you know, this is pretty Galaxy Brain. Again, not to partially name drop, but there's a 33% chance that we could get into Turtle Rock. Now, granted,
Yes, but do you want to?
not really. No, I'm just saying the possibility exists.
Because the game, at least so far, is presenting my oh-so favorite, oh-so cherished Ice Rod Hunt in the eventuals. Because who doesn't hate a good Ice Rod Hunt? The item that can be literally anywhere except for one location.
Yep. It can be anywhere except in the hands of Trinex.
And even then, there's no logic.
Yep. Sometimes you do wish this randomizer had a few less combinations. All right, so Olhaado now heading into Palace of Darkness. Our runners kind of covering each other's tracks here. So now would be a good time to kind of do a reset. You're watching Link to the Past Randomizer League action here on the ALTTPR League 2. It is akuheish of Zebes Frogbar versus Olhaado of Guardians of the Galaxy Brain in Open League Season 4, Week 3 action casual boots mode in the Thieves Town Division. My name is Westside Vandal. Co-coming with me is Amerith, and our tracker is Velaity. Damn it, I did it again.
One day we'll get it. First try.
Yeah.
First try every time.
Yep. Absolutely. 60% of the time, I say words correctly all the time.
It looks like Aku is gonna go back and grab the Smith and turn that in.
Right,
Having
so
jumped already down, I was kind of expecting them to go for Big Red Bomb at that point.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, and to knock out Hammer Pegs too.
Yep.
What do you think the next progression we're gonna see is? Because it's like I'm kind of feeling like it has to be either mirror or flippers, because that's gonna be the thing that opens up the most. Maybe flute.
Yeah. My guess was going to be flippers. Like for some reason, flippers feels like it's going to be the next logical step for me, because that would open up Ice Palace completely, and it would put
Swamp.
Yep. All right, so Aku with the save and quit is gonna be bringing his good friend Jeremiah, who is no longer a bullfrog, back to the Dwarven Smithery.
Just a little old man with a big white beard. Not being mistaken for Santa.
Oh, Olhaado getting a little bit trolled by the enemies here in this room. Took a little bit too long flipping the switch before jumping back over. Freezes them all in place with a hook shot to avoid that fate this time.
One good way to avoid that sort of situation, especially having a scenario where gotten by the time that he did, would be to do the stair extension clip there, allowing you to basically dash up the stairs through those pegs and not have to worry about those beetles. One of those few like minor time saves that's not too bad, but definitely a good one to learn because it's not too difficult to pick up.
Right. Aku heading up Dark Death Mountain here. Yep. All right. So what is Dark Death Mountain going to have in store for us today? Gotta be something, right? Ooh, Aku getting the hook shot clip through the block there. All right, Super Bunny Cave.
What
you
have you
got?
today? A
That's
flute.
the flute. That's going to make traversal a little bit easier. Granted, Meyer is a pendant, so we don't 100% need it, but it is a nice little quality of life thing to have.
Just a little scary to put Meyer in logic like that while pending a medallion, but
Okay, fair, yes.
hey,
Oh,
there's a
and
mirror.
there's a mirror.
Things opening up.
Bug net. Most important item in the game right there.
Can't beat Aga 2 without it.
All right. Aku gonna check. And we need bombos.
We are saved from Turtle Rock for a little bit.
Kind of
Yes,
curious
Aki, you've
what
done everything on the mountain already. You
I
need
was
to go
about to
activate
say.
that flute.
Yep. I was about to say, I'm kind of curious what Aku thinks they need to stay on the mountain for for a second there, but does double check themselves.
It was probably that bit of mental gymnastics of like, do I have to do spike caves? Did I already do this? Yes, okay, good. Was floating island anything? No. Okay, let's get that here.
All right. I see King's Tomb here. Oh, and there's our flippers. Oh boy.
Oh, we are just rolling in the items that we need. Aku just pinpointing out the items. Just,
Yeah.
Well,
the soul read right there.
Still, for the fact that we still need bombos, we also just need ice rod, which I'm glaring at those pendants again, and I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say those words, but I'm just looking at them like we haven't really dipped them yet.
Yeah.
And I never really want to.
Yeah, but it's prime time for two of them right now because that flute activation means Aku can flute to 6 and clear out Mire and Desert pretty quickly. So if it does happen to be in one of those two spots or in the surrounding areas.
That's true. I would definitely, probably at least imagine we'd see a flute to 6 to do Mire Shed and Checkerboard, and then I would probably flute away and go to ice, or just straight up do ice. But
as our tracker points out, both swamp and ice are now fully open to us and are crystals.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's 8 items plus 2 crystals versus let's see here. 5 items
Wario's
total
at
between,
1.
Yeah. Like 5 items total in the two in Desert and Mire, and then the surrounding like ancillary items like Agina and Checkerboard and Ledge.
Mire, you mean the dungeon that is known for the worst checks per minute?
Yep.
Not officially, I'm sure, but probably very close. If not, I wonder if anyone's actually run the numbers on it. I would be
think
willing
you
to
have
bet.
I think you have about a 32.3 repeating, of course, chance of being right on that one.
I see that's fair. Olhaado finishing knocking out the king. We'll see where he goes after he finishes here. And
Right,
again, another walker out of pod.
Right, Aku, meanwhile, looking like we're gonna see Icebreaker.
Oh, Vanilla Big Key, you will never cease to amaze. And Olhaado running to grab the red bomb.
All
Again,
right, then.
probably would have been faster to save and quit, but you know, sometimes you just gotta run. Aku finding that tempered sword there in the H room. Ice Palace known for its letter rooms.
Yes, yes.
Heading on out of the U room and into the T room, or cross room because there is another T room.
Yep.
I just kind of wish that like secretly in there that Ice Palace just spelled out help.
Yeah, then it would be Plasma Kappa's favorite dungeon.
Probably. And we'll get our first look at Pyramid Fairy here, see if we got anything interesting going on. So Olhaado spots that red rupee.
All right. There's that. Oh, nope, no empty bottles yet. Oops. Olhaado,
Yes,
like,
you have a
here.
B.
Yeah. Here, enjoy this bee in these trying times. Well, you trade me
And
for this bee.
I wasn't counting the items on Aku's side, whether they had gotten all 3 items and just went straight to Cold Stare, or if they're just skipping a little. But they definitely did not go to Iced Tea.
Yeah, I was not paying attention either. I had something take my attention away from the race for a moment. I apologize, but we'll see what's going on there shortly, more than likely, as Olhaado now is cleaning up catfish.
Given that Cold Stare dropped a key and they had 0 keys, I want to say that Iced Tea should have been a key at that point, I think.
Given how Aku is running here, I would assume we're done with ice.
Yeah, I wish I was paying a little bit more attention, but I'm pretty sure we got all 3 items. As we head on into Swamp, where we're likely to find something, hopefully. 10 checks in there. Is your most dense crystal dungeon to go to. Or 6 checks, sorry. So you saw the Key Sanity lately from last week.
Mm-hmm. All right. Olhaado now heading up Dark Death Mountain to get the all-important mirror and flute up here. Well, all-important mirror. Hopefully not all-important flute.
And the way things are looking right now, that flute may be important. Running out of locations that ice rod can be. I mean, after Swamp House, what do we have left? We have Bombos Tablet Smith Chain, Mire Area Mire, Desert.
Yeah. Oh, Olhaado getting dead rocked. That's unfortunate.
They just don't like to play nice. Desert's created an enemy like, how do we make the most annoying enemy possible? Let's make an enemy that turns into a rock that you can't normally move through anyway.
And then make it invincible unless you hit it with the Quake Medallion. or powder, I think.
I believe powder also works.
All right. Aku making their way into swamp here. Given that we've already seen Icebreaker from them, I'm going to assume we're going to see Diver down here momentarily.
I say that depends on their choice of whether they go left side or straight to the back. Because usually, my opinion on that is if you find an item in the first chest and an item in the compass room, the second chest, just go straight to the back. Just because the off chance, the one of the few times that it's a god swamp, or you do find your items along the way, like you may as well just chance it and go for the slightly higher item density. Because well, a lot of times something ends up on left side swamp, it's just very slow.
Third bottle, not bad.
And yep, we're going left side.
Yep. Now, granted, we probably would have seen Diver down if he'd headed straight for the back too, straight for the back as well. Olhaado choosing to clean up Spike Cave while he's up here on Dark Death Mountain, which is the play I would have made. Unfortunately, as we already know, this is going to be a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, but definitely understand the cleanup. Like, in all honesty, these runners aren't too very far apart.
Nope.
But
with Aku
I
deciding,
feel, I was gonna say, with Aku, I feel a little bit more in the dominant position right now.
Yep. Because technically, Olhaado is a dungeon and a half behind right now. Because
and we'll need to find those flippers.
Yep, that's the other thing as well. Does need to find the flippers. Now, that being said, I do not believe we saw Aku do Graveyard Ledge.
Correct, and I think that's what Olhaado might be thinking here in activating the loot first.
So if Ice Rod happens to be in that 1 out of 215 chance, that might play into things a little bit, because that's a pretty hard orphan for Aku.
Yeah, you're not really going back there anytime soon if something important happens to be on Graveyard Legend. Looks like Olhaado is floating away.
I was about to say,
Let's see where.
Oh, he's making the Meyer play. All right, then.
Yeah, at least checking the Desert Ledge item real fast that way. And I also wasn't looking. Did we have anything on left side swamp, or?
I was not. I was paying more attention to what Olhaado was going to be doing, because I kind of felt the Graveyard Ledge thing might come into play, so I apologize.
I also did not catch that medallion on there from Meyer, so I'll re-catch that in just a second.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now myself. Because I tried to look at it and it was it blurred for me. So
it was definitely there was a little squiggle there, at least on some part of it, and that defines all 3 medallions.
Yes. Looks like it is going to be Ether, which we do have.
Gross. I hate it.
Just $100 on checkerboard, so I was just like, yeah, I'm good.
All right, where are you going? Are we going desert? Are we going Meyer? Or are we going to be going somewhere else? So it looks like you're doing desert.
Yeah. All right. Meanwhile, Aku heading into the Argus fight. They're both eyeball themed bosses. Give me a break.
I mean, I had to argue this with someone the other day. Argus is really eyeball themed. He has one eyeball. He's puffs. He's a little cloudy dude. He's a lot closer to Cold Stare than Vitreous.
But he is basically his design is basically a floating eyeball mainly, which is also what Vitreous is. Now that being said, yes,
I was
the
gonna say, 'cause that
minions
picture
are a
doesn't
little bit
float.
different.
He bounces. He doesn't float.
Anyway,
Now we're arguing semantics.
ripcording out of this argument, that was the 4th sword on Argus. And Aku heading back into swamp here. I think we
Big
found
chest.
the big key. Yeah, I was about to say, I think we found the big key late, so that big chest was not opened.
Definitely contains an item, which we are looking for 2, and feels really bad to leave 1 item in swamp. And like,
Yeah.
well, is this going to be the one that gets me?
All right. Meanwhile, desert, not our answer for the items in the... Oh, that's the ice rod! In swamp, big chest.
That's kind of important. So now
Yeah.
all we need is bombos.
Yeah. Watch it be vanilla.
Which I was going to say, are we going to have vanilla bombos, or are we just going to have someone steal the O again?
Yep. We're gonna have vanilla bombos! Oh my god!
Wow. All right. So that is go mode for Aku, which is unfortunate for Olhaado.
Oh, because Olhaado is going into Mire, which we now know is worthless. Oh,
Yeah.
good gracious. All right.
Sometimes the game just lines up for you. Just line them up and knock them down.
Poor lads, that's
It's a spicy seed.
Yeah. I love how we both had our rando sense tingle and called the immediate vanilla bombos.
Just that moment, I was like, it can't be, can it? No.
Okay. And I don't even think this Mire is having the decency to be even a demigod Mire, so that's more unfortunateness for Olhaado. Yep, not even a demigod Mire. Oof. Oofta. Meanwhile, Aku's just, yep, okay. That all fell into place perfectly. Yep, let's just mop this up, shall we? Sorry, I'm still shook on
I know,
that.
it still got me too. It's just like, ugh. And Aku, that was the wrong stick for a second there.
That's the first time I've seen it happen on the entrance, but I've definitely done it after cane dashing back through the room to the right there. I've definitely more than a few times forgotten to swap back to Cane of Samaria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you and I may have played a few too many seeds of this game, man, because
I mean,
God.
you get used to the way that it runs sometimes. It's shenanigans. It's just like it's that bad luck thing in the back of your mind. It's like, it's gonna be here, isn't it? And
Yeah.
you just don't want to believe. And when we actually are playing our seeds, we won't make those calls because no, that's risky. Why would you want to do that? But like when it's other people's, go ahead, make that call. Just go get those items.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So we have not found the Turtle Rock Big Key yet, I don't believe. Oh, there it is.
Which
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's gotta be either there or vanilla. So
Yeah. Oh, I was more pointing it out for the reason of, being able to steal the key here coming up shortly. Because I was about to say it would be just like this randomizer to lay those items out on a silver plate like that, and then make you trod through the first half of Turtle Rock just to get vanilla big key.
Because why not?
Yep. Spider Sword gonna make quick work of that pokey there. We're gonna steal that key, and we're gonna be on our way.
Yeah, Aku looking pretty well safe at this point for between finishing TR and GT and everything that's to finish this game out between having red mail, the gold sword, half magic silvers. Like, the only thing you could really want at this point is powder, just as like your best safety in the climb.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said earlier, I feel like this seed was kind of a one of those seeds that gives you all of like the combat stuff early, and then goes have fun finding your progression items. And when you think back on it, it kind of was, because a few of these items are in pretty
weird locations.
Yeah, like flippers on King's Tomb for one. And then
the glove on Bumper Cave. Yeah, well, a little bit fetch questy.
Yeah, a little bit fetch questy to balance out the, oh hey, you just got done with Kakariko Village and you've got, I think we had like masters, we had fighter sword, fire rod, first bow, and the ability to get up Death Mountain where, oh hey, hammers and silvers, cool. Speaking of silvers, boom. Used a great effect to kill Vitreous here. Unfortunately, just a piece of heart and a worthless pendant for your troubles, Olhaado.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that he didn't completely forget about King's Tomb, because the best opportunity was when he saved and quit and went to go activate that flute.
Yeah.
Would have been the best time to go check King's Tomb, but...
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, at this point now, he's locked into just going, oh, hey. Oh, nope, he's fluting away. Never mind.
But fluting to where? Where are we going?
Oh, he's fluting back to 6. No. Okay.
Agina's Cave?
Yep. The good old post-hour mark Agina's Cave check, which never feels good.
The post-hour mark Sphere 1 check? Nah.
Now, technically, Spear 0, wouldn't it be? Because the game always is, the randomizer always assumes you have bombs.
I think it's one of those things that, and the shovel in there. I think it depends on how you like personally label what is 0 and what is 1. Like, if that makes sense. Do you start on 0? Do you start on 1?
So if you're a computer science major or not, got it.
Pretty much, yeah. And I'm gonna go follow up on that shovel.
Oh boy.
Run away from those orange guards there.
Meanwhile, Aku, 7th crystal, is gonna be heading up Gen's tower. 22 locations in that basement. Where is that big key going to be tonight? Place guesses in chat now, and we'll try to sort them out. Bot's still broken, but we'll have some fun with it. I'm going to go ahead and say lucky number 13 myself.
A good quick prediction in there real fast. I think 30 seconds is reasonable enough time for people to get a guess in.
Yep.
Spend those fake internet points on Twitch channel number 2 over here.
All right.
I missed what was on Torch, but it couldn't have been the big key because we're still going.
Yep. Looks like it was a small key because Aku has 2. So item number 4. And item number 5 is going to be our big key. Nobody guessed, so I guess nobody gets the lifetime supply of Link to the Past randomizer seeds, redeemable by going to ALTTPR.com. And nobody's going to need to get the advice that if your standard seed lasts longer than 4 hours, please consult the YouTube tutorial. All right, now that I've gotten that joke out of the way.
But we did have someone guess, or at least was it some or multiple? Button, one person, 220 points. Gonna get probably flushed down the toilet. So, sorry about that. But that's the way that the points roll.
Indeed. All right. So yeah, at this point, it is basically a formality, especially because Olhaado still has not gone back up to Northern Dark World for that Graveyard Ledge, and more importantly, King's Tomb check.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting in our Smith check though, so we'll see what sort of fun prizes end up in our way.
Aku taking a page out of Trogdor's book and deciding to burninate the countryside that was that particular room of the Gauntlet.
And
this
some of
one
these
as
rooms
well.
in the Gauntlet, like, you know, you just gotta. They're terrible rooms. Sometimes it's just either just like, get out of my way.
I know it's not the most time efficient thing in the world to do, but in particular, that last ice room before the hallway leading to Landmo 2 here, that is pretty much always a good target for me to use like Bombos or Ether, because usually by the point in time that I'm at that particular room, I'm done with whatever rando has decided to throw at me that particular seed.
Yeah, I can certainly feel that.
All right. And I think this is going to be Olhaado finding out just how behind they are here shortly. Heading to 3 and heading up to Dark World. Might check the pedestal text here actually while they're here. Yep.
Wouldn't be surprised given the way that he's been playing sort of full cleary, sort of like maybe still in that like fad keys kind of mode of just like gotta get everything.
A ruby
Yeah.
horse. Heck yeah. Just under 2 blue potions. Yeah, all right. Aku, meanwhile, heading into the Moldorm 2 fight. Gold sword shouldn't be a problem. Whoop. Almost commentary curse. Now Olhaado. Looks like, yep, here we go. Graveyard Ledge into King's Tomb incoming.
Yep, and he's gonna see those slippers. Probably hate himself just a little bit, thinking, why didn't I check this when I was getting the flute ready?
Yep.
And I would imagine probably head straight for either Ice or Swamp.
Yeah, and he'll probably get into whichever dungeon that will be right around the time Aku is finishing up, because Aku currently in the Aga 2 fight, and then with the amount of safeties we have, the Big Pig should pose very little threat. What might pose a threat is these Aga 2 patterns, though.
Hey, there's a Quake Medallion that we didn't need.
Hooray! Well, that one's a little bit friendlier. Got him. Aku deciding to do some suicide sprints there, waiting for Ganon to get out. The good old days of junior high PE. Anyway, into the big pig fight we go.
A little bit scary with 3 hearts, but I believe Aku has a red potion at the very least, so
Actually,
yeah,
I don't think he does.
can take that 1 hit, and that was about it.
Olhaado was the one who found Pyramid Fairy and Red Potion.
I believe you're right. I think Aku actually has nothing left then.
But I don't think it's going to matter as we are out of the dangerous part of the fight now.
Yeah,
Shouldn't really be
clear.
getting close enough to Ganon to get hugged here. Unfortunately, that second hit not going to do anything.
It always makes you feel better, though.
Fair, accurate. Oh no, Silver has one true weakness. Joke's on you for hiding it so in plain sight, pretty much.
On Death Mountain. Ooh,
almost
nice
had the triple. Yeah, almost had a triple there, but double pretty nifty as well. Whoop.
I was gonna say, knowing my timings, that's gonna be just barely not enough time to get another double in, or rather 2 shots, and that is pretty much GG. All Aku has to do is cross the Hyrule's most dangerous 1x3 bridge.
Kind of stole my line there, but
hey, I wouldn't steal it if I didn't want it.
Fair. And that is going to officially be it. Aku finishes in first place with an official race time. .gg time. 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 34 seconds.
And with a save and quit there by Olhaado, I believe that is a forfeit coming in. So let's go ahead and get the runners on in here and see how they felt about that seed.
All right.
I got mirrored a very.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Doing all right. Sorry to drag you in mid-conversation like that, but GG's to you both. GG's to you both.
Yeah, thank you. GG's to akuheish.
Oh, I was like, I've been told how to pronounce it, and I can't do it, and she's like, let's all just be safe and go Aku.
Yeah.
That's what most people do. It's akuheish. Aku for short and easier.
Yep. All right, so that was a very close race until it wasn't.
Yeah, that's how it felt.
But yeah, a couple things I noted in kind of like the early to mid game there before we get to the kind of the twin daggers there that were the ice rod and bombos. We did kind of notice Aku, you had a weird moment or a moment me and Amarith both kind of caught. You finished Palace of Darkness and got your 5-6 your second of the 5-6 crystals, and then you decided to do Catfish and Pyramid without looping in the big red bomb. Was there anything at play there, or was it just kind of I don't really want to do this yet, or what was going through your mind on that one?
I wasn't even thinking of big bomb at that moment. I just wanted to head up north and do those checks.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, like I said, can certainly understand the play. It's not like it's a bad play. It's just one of those like, huh, that's interesting to not be thinking about Big Red Bomb in that instance, to loop it in. But I certainly understand the want to get north, get over to that like Thieves Town area.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing, was getting to Thieves Town. Well, for me anyway, it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, I routed the other way. I came through village, around, and over to pod.
And yeah, sorry if my phrasing made it seem like I was calling it out as a bad play. It was just more of a, me and Amarith, I think both were kind of coming at it from, this is what we would have done, and to see it happen a little bit differently was kind of a
Yeah, no, I do that with runners too. I'll say this is the way I would do it. They're doing it this other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right
what do you
around that time of Catfish, like doing that route there, pyramid up to Catfish. That was around when it started to feel like things were not going well for me anymore.
Yeah, because unfortunately, I think the big turning point, the sort of nail in the coffin for you, Olhaado, was just when you got saving quid and went to go activate the flute, not checking King's Tomb there. I think kind of sort of steered you off into the wrong direction a bit.
Yeah.
So I did actually have another question from like early mid game routing. Olhaado, you went into your first foray into the Dark World was actually as I think you already kind of mentioned, you went into the Kakariko portal and started doing like Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town. We did notice you immediately dove Skull Woods, the Green Pendant, and checked the front when you had fairly easy access to the back at that point with the Fire Rod and Half Magic. Front was empty. Did you give any thought whatsoever to looking at the back that early, or?
Yeah, I thought about it. I almost did it before I did the front of Skull Woods, because I went to the back and did the statue room first, and I thought about going through, but at that point I was like, I really don't want to fight Mothula right now. And then I cleared the front, and I was like, well, I've already wasted this much time. I'm moving on to item dense areas.
Yeah. I think that's kind of where we're a little bit different, because my thought on, well, I've already spent this much time here, I might as well just finish it. It's where I would have gone.
I mean, it did bug me for the rest of the race. I was like, there's something there, isn't there? So I'm glad that there wasn't, but it did bug me for basically the rest of the race. I kept looking back at that corner of my map and being like, man, I should have just cleared it while I was there. And then I started thinking it was a pedestal seed.
Yeah, with having missed the flippers on that, it was starting to really seem like that, because it was like we noticed that too around, the hunt for the flippers and mirror and getting the flute. It was just like, really starting to look like a ped seed. I really hope it isn't. I don't like wishing that on people, but it kind of could be.
Yeah, I mean, I had very little left on my map at a certain point, like 3 closed dungeons, and all I had left were pendant dungeons and like 3 overworld checks until I got the flute there.
Yeah, and it's always hard to make that decision. It's like, do I dive a pendant or do I go for these overworld? Like, what actually is the good call here? Because none of these are good plays.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead, Amarth.
I was gonna say, I'm starting to run out of questions. If you had any final questions to ask them, Wes, or
No, I didn't really have anything else that I could think of. I guess I'll ask Aku. Did the thought enter your mind as you were heading to Bombos tablet that, oh hey, this could be vanilla Bombos? Or were you just kind of like, yeah, I'll see what it... I don't think it's going to be here, but I'm here. Let's check it.
It was more, I was there, I'm going to check it. Then if it wasn't, Big Bomb was the next play.
Wow. Yes. Me and Amarith both were sitting here in the commentary booth, and we both went to start saying it at the same time. Wouldn't it be funny if this was Vanilla Bombos as you were exiting Swamp? And sure enough, 10 seconds later, oh, that's a Bombos medallion. Cool. But yeah, that's about all I had. If either of you had anything you wanted to touch on, real quick.
Well, I had a feeling that early book was going to be useful for something. I just didn't know what.
Yeah, that's actually a fairly good point. Yeah, usually if you see a book that early, you kind of start going, well, okay, guess either one of the tablets is going to be important, or the dreaded P word is going to come into play.
Or desert. Could be desert.
Yeah, fair.
It's just, an upside down P, I think. Yeah, that does work.
Sure, we'll go with that. Oh, gracious. But I think that's as good a sign as any that we need to send this one to bed. So, Don't agree with me. Oh God. So a thank you to the lady, our tracker, for clicking buttons for us behind the scenes and catching one or two things that we missed. Thank you to Yorker's wife for being the restream coordinator for this particular race. Huge thank you to my co-commentator Amerith. I have been Westside Vandal. Thank you to our runners as well for a good race to commentate on, both Aku and Olhaado. Make sure you're following everybody involved. There's the links. Plenty more action to come across both the Invitational and Open Leagues in the weeks to come on the Speed Gaming family of channels and the ALTTPR League family of channels. So stay locked in to those channels for more Link to the Past Randomizer League action. Until next time, have a good night.
Good night, everybody.